was just an old grouchy, curmudgeon-y. Nothing was good enough. You could give Bud $1 million. He's like, well, hell, I got to pay taxes on it. So when Bud died, and by the way, Bud didn't smoke cigarettes, he ate them. You ever see those folks that will smoke it down to the filter and then take that one and light another one with it? That was Bud. I didn't know Bud had skin color till he died. It was just this gray haze around his head. Well, when he died, he stated in his will that he wanted to be cremated, and he wanted his ashes scattered over the Midland, Texas rodeo grounds, where he won his very first rodeo. And I thought, oh man, that's pretty cool. Till I realized the Midland, Texas rodeo grounds do not exist anymore. They're soccer fields where little kids play soccer on Saturday morning. So we go back to Midland, and we're at his wife's house, Doris. We call her Nani. And we're all there, and Nani goes, well, we got to honor his wishes. And Gail, my wife, said, what do you mean, Mom? She goes, well, he wants his ashes scattered at the Midland, Texas rodeo grounds. I think it's stupid, but that's what he wants, and we got to honor him. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I go, you cannot scatter a man's ashes on a soccer field. She goes, why not? I said, well, when you're cremated, A, it's illegal. And B, when you're cremated, you're not all ashes. There's still chunks of you in that bag. And we don't need a 7-year-old or some 7-year-old's dog running off through downtown with a piece of bud in his mouth. She said, Bill, we have to or it'll haunt me. I said, what do you mean it'll haunt you? She goes, I've seen that show Paranormal. And when you don't do what them dead folks want, they come back and they scare the hell out of you. And I said, well, Bud ain't going to haunt you. She goes, how do you know? I said, because ghosts can't smoke. She goes, well, we got it. We got to scatter his ash. And I go, no, it's illegal. And one of her Gail's brothers goes, well, I got an ultralight. Okay. He said, I'll just take that bag of ashes, fly over the field, dump it out, nobody know the difference. I said, no, people, listen to me. You cannot scatter a man's ashes. Her other brother goes, hey, well, what if we use one of them t-shirt guns like they use at the ball games? What? He said, yeah, we'll just put Bud in an orange juice can and I'll just... I said, people, you cannot do this. She goes, well, we got to honor his wishes. We're doing this on Saturday morning at 10:30 because the preacher she hired has a wedding at 11. So we're running late, and we're getting everybody in old Nani's El Dorado Cadillac. You know those big old boats that you can hide like 9 bodies in the trunk? And we're running late, and she's driving 95 miles an hour to this little West Texas town on a Saturday morning. I said, Nani, slow down. He ain't going nowhere. She goes, we got to get there, Bill. The preacher will leave, and it won't be an official ceremony. And I go, it ain't an official ceremony anyway. I said, well, you need to slow down because you're going to hit... We hit a dove. We killed the bird of peace on the way to this funeral. He's plastered on the grill, and I'm like, oh, this is so wrong. We get there, there's a preacher leaning up against his truck smoking a cigarette. Y'all better hurry up, I got a wedding in about 20 minutes. There's a soccer game going on 75 yards away from us. Well, the preacher says a few words and he leaves. And Nani opens the trunk, and there it is, a bag of bud. And I don't know if you know this or not, but when you're cremated, you're not in a little bag. It's one of them gallon Ziploc freezer-looking bags. And she didn't have him in an ornate box. She just stuck his ashes in this old Pennzoil oil can box that she found. She takes Bud out of the trunk like he's groceries, sets him on top of the car, pulls out another box and said, I brought these along in case anybody gets a little squeamish. And she opens it up, and it's just a box of mixed-match rubber gloves. She stole it from the hospital, from the dentist. And my kids were born and raised in California. They're like, Daddy, I think I want a glove. I think we all do, Princess. So we walk out on this field. And everybody takes a handful of bud. And just goes, sorry, Grandpa. Well, it's Nani's turn. She jams her hand in that bag of ashes and pulls up a handful. And looks at it at the top of her lungs with that West Texas accent and goes, well, sometimes I loved you, sometimes I hated you. That's it. That's her final words? Well, she's still got 3/4 of a bag of Bud left. I said, what are you going to do with the rest of it? She goes, oh, hell, I don't know. And then just takes the bag and turns it upside down and goes, poof, and dumps a pile of Bud at my feet and starts walking back to the car. And I said, you can't leave him like this. She goes, it's supposed to rain later. It'll wash him away. Just leave him alone. And I didn't know what else to do, so I just started going. Trying to smooth Bud out a little bit. And I said, what are we going to do now? And she turns around and goes, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for a margarita. I get in the car, I grab Gail's arm. Remember your mom used to grab your arm and it hits that skin underneath there? And she goes, ow, what? I go, your family cannot bury me. She said, why not? I said, hell, they'll just leave me on the freeway and go, don't worry, the buzzards will eat him in the circle of life. Just leave him alone. And that's what scares me about getting older. You start thinking that's normal thoughts. And that's why I try to do stuff in my life that keeps my brain at least young. And that's why I did that stupid dancing show. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're very sweet. I'll tell you the story. There's a lot of things in your life you see headed your way. That wasn't one of them. What happened a year ago last May, I tore my meniscus. And I wish I had a great story for you. I wish I could tell you I saw some punk steal this old lady's purse, and I chased him for 20 blocks and caught up to him to this flying karate kick, knocked him out, and gave the old lady her purse back. Because that'd be a great story. What happened, I was playing golf, and I was walking. Not running, not skipping, not jumping, walking. And I hit a patch of wet grass and my knee went backwards. Yeah, it was that kind of pain that the minute it hits, your next thought is, okay, I'm going to throw up. Well, my knee ballooned up and Gail said, you got to go see a doctor. So I went to the doctor and he said, yeah, you tore your meniscus. He said, we can fix it arthroscopically and you'll be home by noon. I said, great. So Gail drives to the hospital, they do the surgery, and that afternoon I'm lying in bed watching some TV show going, wow, those Kardashians really are talented. So I knew I was still under the effects of Demerol. And the phone rang. And I said, hello? And they said, this is Dancing with the Stars. And I said, I believe you have the wrong number. They said, no, this is Bill Engvall, right? I said, yeah, you got that part right. They said, well, we want you to be on the show. And I literally said, well, yeah, hell, I could judge that. I mean, why else would they be calling? And they said, well, no, actually, we'd like for you to be a dancer on the show, a contestant. Folks, you know when you have surgery and the anesthesiologist says, look, don't make any important decisions for 24 hours? Well, there's some truth to that. Because they said, we want you to be a dancer. And I don't know if it was me or the Demerol, but the next word I heard was, sure. And it was on. Now, up until that point in my life, y'all, the only dancing I'd ever done was honky-tonk. You know, girl in this arm, beer in this hand, we scoot around the floor, you know. Hell, if they let me do that dance, I'd have won the damn thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really thought in my heart of hearts, I'll be on this show a week, maybe 2 at the most, and then they're going to say he's got to go. 13 weeks later, yeah. I added up my time on that dance floor, and I had danced 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, without a day off for 13 weeks. Wow. I'm 57. We are not designed to dance 6 hours a day, 7 days a week for 13 weeks. We're designed to dance once a year drunk at a wedding to cool in the game. And then we pay for that for 2 weeks. So I go meet my little partner, Emma Slater, who's just a little sweetheart. She's actually become like our second daughter, just a sweetheart. And just British as she can be. I mean, she was so British that sometimes she didn't understand our English. Like every week we do this thing called the song reveal. And that's, she tells me what dance we're going to do and what song we're going to dance to. And one week she goes, all right, Bill, this week we're going to dance the tango, and we're dancing to Beef Burgers in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett. Damn, that sounds familiar. I said, Emma, do you mean Cheeseburgers in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett? And she goes, well, why do they call it Buffett? I said, what? She goes, well, when you go out to eat, you don't go to a buffet. You go to a buffet. And I go, well, sweetheart, that's food. This is a human being. Now, for those who've never watched the show, please don't feel bad. Because I'll be honest with you, until I was on it, I had never watched it. If you'd have come up to me before I was on that show and said, Bill, do you watch Dancing with the Stars? I would have sarcastically said, every week! The way the show works is the first week everybody gets a bye. Everybody's safe. Well, after the first week the show was on, my son called me from college and said, well, just want to say thanks. I said, for what? He goes, you almost got my butt kicked. I said, how do you figure? Well, he works at a little pizza joint where he goes to college. Well, Dancing with the Stars is on Monday night. Well, what else is on Monday night in the fall? Football. He said there were 30 frat guys in there drinking beer like it was their last day on earth. He's got Dancing with the Stars on the big screen TVs. And one of them said, hey man, can you turn that mess off and put on football? And he said, before I could stop my mouth, the words shot out, not till my dad's done dancing. Yeah, sorry about that one, boy. Well, then the next week, Bill Nye, the science guy, hurt his knee really bad, and he had to quit. So I've been on 2 weeks. I'm thinking, great. I've done as long as I'll be on this show. I got deer season starting in 3 weeks. I'll make opening day. This is awesome. Well, y'all